Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Brand Tip Tuesday. I'm Danielle Miller. I'm a brand strategist for creative and service-based entrepreneurs, the author of the book Smarty Pants Branding, creator of the School of Branding, and co-founder of Her Influential Brand and Her Influential Author. And I want to welcome you to this week's episode of Brand Tip Tuesday. You can find me also at daniellemiller.com and theschoolofbranding.com. Now, on today's episode, I want to talk about the difference between sharing content and selling content. Now, this is a concept that may be new to you. You may not have really considered what the difference is between content that you share and content that is designed to persuade people to buy from you, but there is a difference. And oftentimes what happens is we tend to muddy these waters, and sharing content ends up being a pitch to sell, and it immediately turns people off. So I want to tell you the difference between the two, get you to think about which one you're using when you communicate either verbally or through written word about what you have to offer, whether that's information that's designed to educate or whether it is information that's designed to persuade somebody to hire you, to be the only solution to the problem that they are currently having. So let me pull my notes up here real quick because I wrote some notes about this. And, even though many of you are authors, creative entrepreneurs, you're it's easy for you to get your ideas into a book or into some sort of logical order. It can be really difficult to come up with regular content, with content that you are creating on a consistent basis that positions you as an expert, shows your authority, and really makes it so that people think of you when they're looking to solve the particular problem that they have, that you are the only person that can solve it for them. So content that is shareable content, that's content that's designed to educate, to inspire, to inform, or to motivate people. There's a huge difference between that and selling content, which is how you talk about what you do and why people should hire you in the first place in order to get the results that they're looking for. And this can be very, very challenging, right? It's hard enough to come up with content that informs and entertains and inspires, much less content that's designed to convince people or persuade people that they should buy from you. I have this kind of weird, maybe that's a little bit better. I saw this weird shadow there. Now we see this all the time, right? In a blog post, a webinar, a podcast, a video, selling content that tries to disguise itself as shareable content. And we see it a mile away, right? Hello, sales pitch, we see you. And this often happens, I think the most common culprit is on a webinar. When we're expecting that we're going to sit down for 60 minutes and really learn something, and we may get one nugget of information, but the entire rest of the webinar is a well-disguised sales pitch. Now, I highly, highly encourage you to get away from doing that. If you're being taught to sell, and drop one nugget of information into what it is that you're doing, particularly with webinars. Webinars seem to, like I said, be the biggest culprit of this. I want to encourage you to stop doing that. I want you to make a clear distinction between shareable content and selling content. And it will make it so much easier for you to actually have people not only know, like, and trust you, but then buy from you, because you cannot do it both well unless you have a clear delineation of which is which. So, sharing sharing content is designed to inspire trust, to establish you as an expert and build your authority, build your brand platform. With your right people. You want people to read, to listen, to consume your ideas and think to themselves that you're the right person to solve the problem that they're struggling with, that they need to hire you. That's the purpose of shareable content. It positions you as the expert. It positions you as somebody who is an authority in the work that you do. So I always like to think, I always go back to food. If you know me at all, I use food metaphors a lot. And I like to use this metaphor. So let's say that you order a pizza and you have some friends show up unexpectedly. And now this pizza that you've ordered, let's say it's anchovies, black olives, and pineapple. It's a really weird, exotic combination that most people are going to be like, oh, I don't know, right? So your friends come over, you say, hey, have a slice of pizza. Sharing. Right? Freely sharing this pizza. But now your friends are going, oh, I don't know about this. This doesn't seem so appealing. Now you're switching into selling mode, right? You're trying to sell them or persuade them to try this pizza. And, you might say, oh my gosh, do you love that combination of sweet and salty, flavor bursts in your mouth? I'm telling you, this pizza has it all. You will love it. Just take one bite of it. And I guarantee you, we're going to be fighting over the last piece of pizza, right? So in the beginning, you're just sharing the pizza with them. Hey, have a piece of pizza. But now you see that, okay, they're not quite sold on this idea of having some pizza. Now you're switching into selling mode, right? Now you're switching into convincing or persuading them that this is really delicious pizza and that they should have some of it. So I always like to use that kind of a metaphor to distinguish between sharing and selling. So sharing content, it looks like videos, it looks like podcast interviews, it looks like certain emails that you may send out, learning modalities, so courses or programs or any type of learning that you do with clients, lives, videos, those types of things. That's all shareable content. That's where you're sharing your expertise, the information that you have that can help people. Now, when you share content, you're sharing what you know as opposed to trying to persuade somebody to purchase from you, right? So this could be how-tos, how to do, how to develop your brand foundation, telling stories. That's such a key component of building a strong brand platform that's magnetic and captivating, is being able to tell stories and share information and teaching and learning through this idea of storytelling. When you tell a story, you're not switching into selling mode to sell people at the end of that. Mistakes that you've learned from, things that I did this, don't do that. As opposed to selling content. Now, selling content looks like your services that you offer, your different programs, those types of things. You're positioning those types of things as selling content because you want somebody to purchase that from you. So it's different than shareable content. It could be testimonials are also selling content. You're convincing people that they should buy from you, right? You're convincing people that what you have to offer is a solution that what will solve their problem. So testimonials are selling content. Webinars, I said that earlier. Most of the time, webinars are selling content, but people don't do it correctly, and so they really struggle with that portion when they try to switch into selling mode on a webinar. Methodology, or how you get results, that's also selling content. You're telling people, yes, you've established this certain methodology, this certain process, and this is how you get results from people. Before and afters, before somebody comes to you, and then after what's happened, the results, the transformation, that's selling content. Now, you can also the key with selling content is to make sure that the results that you're talking about are tangible. These are things that people want to have as a result of solving that problem. Now, you can also blend the two. Now, it does take some practice to be able to do that, but you want to make sure first that you have a clear delineation between what's the sharing content and when you move into the selling content. Sharing first is information that's freely given. You are sharing your expertise, your knowledge with others. And this is where so many people tend to fall flat on a webinar in particular. I'm picking on webinars today, but this is where I see that happens a lot. And what happens is they don't give any shareable content throughout the entire webinar. There's no takeaways for the audience. There's nothing that they can implement and learn from. It's all about this very thinly disguised sales pitch. And it's you can tell it, you can see it a mile away. And that's where those entrepreneurs are falling down, because the whole thing is designed as selling content when you've positioned it as learning content, and there's a disconnect there. So a huge piece of that is make sure that you understand and you know where the information, the sharing content is ending and the selling content is coming in, and be upfront with people. Don't hide it, because that's again where the know, like, and trust factor will suffer, and it's where people will not be willing to hire you, not be willing to invest their money with you, because they're already feeling like they're being duped at some point. So be straight up with people. I've given you a lot of really great information over the last 30 minutes. Now I want to tell you how you and I can work together more deeply on the concepts I've covered today. I know you've gotten, some really great ahas and some actionable steps, but there's a whole lot more I have to teach you. And here's how we can work together. You don't have to hide that. We're all entrepreneurs here to have profitable businesses, and where it gets really sticky and dicey is when you start trying to disguise the selling content into sharing and learnable content. So get clear about that. Whenever you're writing, even when you're sending emails, include a couple points here, that are free, shareable content. And then go into, okay, so, these are some really good steps I've given you. I can tell you that I have a lot more to share with you. Here's how you and I can work together to accomplish your goals and the results that you're looking for. So that's the difference between shareable content and selling content. I hope that was helpful to you. You want to think about some things. The two things to think about when you are writing content is, what's the goal of this content? Is it to share information? And if it is, then that is strictly what it's about. And do that piece first. And then, if you're thinking, well, I'd really like to talk about my offers and services, then you can start going into the selling portion. So it's not this very jarring disconnect for people. It's a natural transition that you make, but you've got to know what that is yourself when you're writing that content, when you're speaking, when you're putting that out there. Where's the delineation? Where's the line between sharing content and selling content? And the biggest no-no, the biggest boo-boo is just don't disguise selling content. Be upfront with people, be straight with people. This is what I have to offer. This is how I can help you get results. You'll get a lot more respect for that than when people have to sit through or read through something where they get one teeny tiny nugget of information and then it's a full-blown sales pitch. I see it happen all the time, and people are a lot more savvy. I'm also seeing that people are a lot more savvy when it comes to this. So again, consider your audience. Consider your audience. If they're in the same space that you are, chances are they know. They can see these tactics coming. So again, make sure that your sharing content is completely free. It's designed to inform. It's designed for people to learn something from, and then transition into the selling content. This is how I can take you further. if we work together. This is the program that I have, can take you much deeper into some of the lessons that you've learned today. So be upfront with people about it. So that's been today's brand tip, learning the difference between sharing content and selling content so that you can have the business that you want with a brand you love. Don't forget, you can go to daniellemiller.com and get my copy of Smarty Pants Branding completely free right now. It's for sale on Amazon, but don't do that. Just go to my website and download your free copy today. So, all right. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you for next week's Brand Tip Tuesday. Take care. If the video will end. Bye for now.